Hey, this is Mick Holly, and welcome to this week's show of Grow Your Business by the Numbers. This is Mick Holly, and looking forward to sharing with you. You see it up there in the top right-hand corner, 10x, how to grow your sales by 10 times using 10x techniques. I've got top 10 tips. All right, so those of you watching on the replay on my YouTube channel, welcome. If you have any questions, you can always pop them at the bottom. Otherwise, let's get going. Welcome to the 10x sales webinar. What I'm going to do for you today is to share the top 10 sales secrets so you can 10x your sales and knock your sales and increase your numbers dramatically. Hi, this is Mick Holly. I've had over 40 years in sales. I coach businesses. I've coached Fortune 500 businesses. I've coached smaller privately held businesses and small businesses. I know how to help you double, triple, and 10x your sales. What I'm going to do in this webinar is give you 10 secrets to really increase your sales. So let's get going. The first one is it's all about belief, right? Sales is all in the mind. The top salespeople, the rainmakers, really believe in what they're doing. They have this aspiration, this dream, this unshakable belief that they're the best at what they do. Their product is the best. They're going to deliver it with absolute service, and the customers are going to be delighted. So, that conviction, a lot of people think it comes from when I've made a lot of sales, I'm going to get my confidence and I'm going to have my belief. No, it's the other way around. You can actually see this thing here. Your mind is a supercomputer, and you can program it any way you want. Did you know that over 90% of the decisions you make every day are done in your subconscious? So your brain is processing things, and it's based on its operating system, and that coding can be changed. So if I don't believe that I can really win this deal, or I'm second rate, or my competitors are better, or my price is too high and I'm feeling nervous, then I'm not going to win the deal. Right? Your customers are going to pick up on that. So you can't sell to your prospect until you yourself are sold. So you have to intrinsically, intimately believe, because then you'll have fire in your belly. You'll crawl across broken glass and hot coals to get to your objective, because you know you're going to win. You've got the best product, you've got the best service, and all you do is just keep chasing that prospect, and you're going to turn them into a customer. And it's only when you really, really believe that you're going to do all those hard things, like pick up the phone and call them and leave voicemails and follow up and chase them. And when they give you objections, you're going to handle them. You'll only go through that if you believe. So how do you believe? Well, list all of the things that are great about your product, your service, your company, yourself, and look at those every day and remind yourself how great you are. Think about all those great installations or sales that you've made, and fuel yourself with that belief system. Because when you truly believe, then you can truly 10x your sales. You don't 10x your sales or your business by accident. It's intentional. You have to set goals. The greatest achievers, the rainmakers, the business people that 10x have a synchronization between their day-to-day activities and their life goals. I talk to a lot of salespeople, and it's astonishing to me that very few of them actually have a written sales plan in place which says, here's what I want to do in terms of my numbers, here are the customers that I want to go after, these are the segments that I want to challenge, these are the networks that I need to build, these are the associations I need to be presenting at in order to communicate and connect with my intended customers. And that's always a little bit lacking. But more importantly, even before that, you need to set yourself your life goals. What do you want to do in terms of aspiration? Aspiration is more powerful than desperation, right? You want to have a big dream, set big goals, set high expectations. If you set your expectations so high and you miss them, then you still do pretty well. So set big big goals. Put in your mind, what is it that you want to achieve? Really imagine how you could 10x your sales and your business. Then sit down and actually put your sales plan in place and list the targets that you want to go after. Then every day, literally, I know this sounds silly, but every day look at your goals, your big goal, your life goal, and your sales activity. Because when you've got that big dream in front of you, will it power you through all of the objections and the hurdles, and it'll give you the energy to follow up, to pursue, and to close, and to build those relationships. So review that big goal and your sales plan daily. Make it a habit before you even start. Look at those goals and say, am I on track? What do I need to do to make them? And when you've written down your goals and you review your goals and your plan daily, it will materially change the way that you go about your business, and it will change the outcomes. You will improve. You will sell more. Your business will get bigger. So goals and plans, absolutely critical. This 10x rule is one of the most powerful of the 10 secrets that I'm going to share with you today. It's an absolute doozy. If you can master this, then you're going to be able to get so many more sales. It's called the agreement principle. And in essence, what it means is always, always, always agree with the customer. Now, don't get confused. That doesn't mean that the customer is always right. It merely means that you agree with them. If you're not in agreement with them, they can't come to an agreement with you. So you have to be able to demonstrate that you're in agreement. It draws you to them. Now, there's two people in a sales conversation, right? And one of them is in agreement. There can be no conflict. It takes away all of the tension. It takes away all of the pressure. And actually being in agreement with the customer is more important than closing, because you won't get to the close unless you get some level of agreement. And it's the most commonly violated rule of selling, and it's the most powerful. Let me give you an example. When a customer says to you, "Oh, it's ridiculous, your price is too expensive," don't go into defending the price, right? Because price is made up. It's a myth, right? You agree. So your price is ridiculous. It's way too expensive. I agree with you. Yeah, the price is too expensive. It's wildly expensive. My other customers tell me the same thing. The payment plan, it's not very fair. The payments are too high. I agree with you. So yeah, the payment plan is too high. But, it would be rash of me to make a decision. I agree. I understand. I get where you're coming from. I wouldn't want you to make a rash decision. I think I need 3 months to think about it and to collect the money necessary to be able to do this. Let's say you're a plumber and you're installing a new bathroom, and your prospect is getting cold feet about doing the bathroom installation that you've got scheduled, and they say to you, "Look, no, it's too expensive." I agree. I understand. And I think I should wait 3 more months before we do this. I agree. That makes sense. In fact, it's perfect. Because right now, I have a lot of homeowners who are actually doing a lot of bathroom renovations, because it increases the price of their homes and they get to enjoy a beautiful bathroom right now. Wouldn't you want to have the benefits? Why delay? So do you see what I did there is I agreed with the customer, which disarmed the conflict, helped us move together, and allowed me to put in an alternative. I agree, it's perfect. I think you should take time. I think so. But here's the other thing. A lot of people are doing it right now, and it allows you to come to an agreement. So first of all, always agree with the customer. It doesn't mean that they're right, but you agree with them, takes the tension out. They're attracted to you, and allows you to proceed during the sale and offer alternatives to the close. Very powerful. Practice agreeing with people in your own family and see actually what happens. This is such a powerful mechanism for 10x in your sales that I've actually recorded a podcast on it. So my podcast is called Sell the Sizzle. You can find it at sellthesizzle.net or anywhere that you listen to your podcast. So check out the episode on the agreement principle, help you 10x your sales. If I asked 1,000 salespeople, why they didn't win a deal, I tell you there's their price. Their price was too high. The customer didn't buy it because it was too expensive. Look, price is never the problem. Price is a myth. Prices are just made up in the first place. People buy based on value and confidence. So just take a look at this little cartoon here. They've got two people at a lemonade stand. One of them is selling lemonade at 25 cents. And the other one is selling lemonade at 50 cents a glass. But underneath her little table, she's got brackets clean water. So she's implying that her lemonade is purer, fresher, made with clean water. And you'll probably buy and you'll pay that bit more for that lemonade because it is cleaner and you believe it to be. So here's what you're trying to sell as a salesperson is confidence in the product or the service. So they've got to believe in the confidence, because if they're saying the objection is price, it's because they believe the product won't work or won't deliver the value. Secondly, they want to believe in you, and thirdly, they want to believe in your company and your service. And if that belief isn't there, if that conviction isn't there, then they're not going to buy at whatever price. So your job is not to help them deal with the price. Let them deal with the price themselves. Your job is to enable them to make a decision, right? So give them the facts about the decision, give them the facts about value. And value is a very personal thing. So one thing that you can do is find out what's personally important to the buyer. Look, if we go ahead with this, what will success look like in 3 months' time? If we install this, how would you think it will feel? How do you think your family will feel with, that new bathroom installed? Or how do you think your tenants will feel when they've got a beautiful floor laid down? And allow them to explain what they value. And then once you've actually got that value in their heads, they can then look at the price and go, that price is reasonable in relation to the value that we get. So approach every sale and believe that it's never going to be about the price. In fact, if you're a small business, maybe you're a solopreneur and you're offering services, you should double the value, you should double the price of your services, because the higher the price, the more people think that there's got to be more value if it's more expensive. So don't be frightened of price. Price is just a made up number, and it's value that you really need to be articulating. So remember, talk about value, let the customer resolve the price issue. It's never about the price. If you've ever had any sales training at all, you'll know that asking questions is a critical part of the sales cycle of fact finding, of getting to the true value, what's important to the customer. Voltaire said that you should judge a man by the quality of his questions, not the quality of his answers. The questions that you ask really telegraph your thinking, your position, your authority on the subject that you're considering and talking to your prospect about. But there are bad questions, there are inane questions, there are silly questions that you don't really want to ask. So don't spend a lot of time at the start of a sales meeting asking about the weather, whether they played, where they went to college, what sports do they favour, what did they watch at the weekend. If you're talking to decision makers want to make decisions. You want them to make a purchase decision. You want them to make a decision in your favour or move to the next step in the sales cycle. So you need to ask hard questions, penetrating questions, questions that are going to uncover the truth. One of the first hard questions is, and you must ask this, because if you're in sales, right, your job is to get in front of the decision maker. So first thing you need to do is qualify, are you talking to the decision maker with the question, is there anybody else who needs to be involved in this decision? And often they'll say, no, it's just me. If they do say, I would like one of my other people to talk to, well, can we get them in this meeting? How can we get them involved? Make sure that you can do both things at the time. But even if they say no, they might not be the ultimate decision maker. And you might want to ask them, well, I know you're clearly the decision maker. I can see that you are the person who's in charge, but is there anybody else that you'd really like to be included in our discussion, and they may volunteer somebody else in their business or their spouse, and you can get them enrolled in that process. So ask that question early. Make sure that you're talking to the decision maker, and if not, then you get them mapped in somehow. Secondly, you want to find out about their intentions to buy. When was the last time that you considered a purchase at this level of expenditure? How would you justify that? What do you think could go wrong? What are your concerns? These hard questions will get to where their concerns and their objections lie. You might ask, is there anything that would change your mind? Why? Why now? Why do you need to make this decision now? Why is it a good time to buy? And then we'll explain to you why now is important. If it's not urgent, then they may need to defer that decision. But always ask, is there anything that might change your mind? And just see if you can't uncover any more objections. Asking hard questions, your decision maker will appreciate it because it will demonstrate that you are in charge of your business. You're a business person, you're focused on outcomes, and you're helping them with that purchase decision. Secret number 6 seems so obvious, but I've been with hundreds and hundreds of salespeople, and they're often reticent to ask for the order or attempting the close. You're never going to make the sale if you don't ask for the order, if you ask for them to sign on the dotted line. Don't feel reticent about doing that. That's your job. Your prospect is expecting it. It's not high pressure. It's just natural business. This is how business is done. So don't be fearful of the close. So the first thing is ask for the close, ask for the order early. Very early on in the presentation, you might be talking about your product or your service, and you can just pause and say, have I given you enough information for you to make a decision? They might say, some people are ready to buy, and they'll say, yep, I'm ready to go forward. Or more often than not, they say, no, I haven't seen enough. Well, great. Let me continue with my presentation. Now the prospect has given you permission to continue your conversation, to continue your sales pitch in a natural fashion. And then you might ask again later on, so have you seen enough to make a decision? No, I want to hear a little bit more about some of these features. Great, let me answer those questions. And you keep asking for that order all the way through the process till the very end. And at the end, are you ready to move forward? Well, I'm not quite ready. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? Well, I might be at a 7. What can I do to make it a 10? What can I do to overcome any last minute concerns that you may have? So ask for the order every time, each time. Ask early, ask often, and keep asking. And you'll make more sales, definitely. This particular secret is what separates the amateur from the professional salesperson. It requires practice, discipline, fluency. I'm going to talk to you about it today, but in order for you to build it into your repertoire and be very fluid with it, you're going to have to practice it. You're going to have to do some role playing. You're going to have to write out some scripts so that you can eloquently go through this process. We'll talk about group coaching later, where I coach people and we practice this muscle every day in order to build it into our repertoire. The biggest barrier to the sale is the unspoken objection. They don't actually articulate it. Sometimes they're not really able to express it right off. You have to help them express that particular objection. Let me give you an example that you can probably relate to. Say you're in a relationship, my wife said, for example, and all of a sudden she comes in and complains, you've left your socks by the side of the linen basket. I don't know why you can't put them in. I have to pick everything up after you. She's obviously very frustrated and mad. If you say, well, I've only done it once, in 2 years, maybe you've done it twice, would be the wrong answer, because you're going to exacerbate the situation and it's going to get out of control pretty quickly. So we don't do that. We use principle number 3 that we talked about today, the secret number 3. We agree, right? We listen and we agree. No, I understand. I'm with you. Yeah, totally unacceptable. I should not have put my socks on the floor. It's very bad of me. I hear you. It's totally not fair for me to do that, for you to pick up after me. I'm with you. I get it. I understand. And, when things start to calm down, then you can say, I won't do that again. Now, is there anything else that's on your mind? What are you not saying? What are you not telling me? And then she'll relate something that happened 2 weeks ago that's been festering in her mind. And this was just the catalyst that brought it out. And now you've got the true objection, the true concern. You address that concern and you can move on and everything's happy in the relationship. In the sales cycle, it's the same thing. The first thing you need to do, and you all do this really, really well, I know this, you listen. You actively listen. You replay back what you've heard so that your prospect knows that you're hearing what they're saying. But then you need to acknowledge if they're raising an objection, oh man, your price is just ridiculously high. I don't even know how you begin to charge such fees. You acknowledge that and we agree. I hear you. I understand. Yeah, the price is too high. I hear that a lot. I'm with you. I understand that the price is high. And then you want to isolate. I know you told me that the price is high. I agree with you. I'm with you there. But apart from the price, is there anything else that's a concern to you? Now you're asking for the unspoken objection. What else is on your mind? If I could solve the price problem, would we be able to do a deal today? So we're trying to isolate what's your concern. Tell me more about that. Why do you feel that way? So that you validate the concern. Why is it important to you? And you get them to talk about that concern, that objection, so that you can then begin to think about handling it. Then you've got to determine through hard questions whether this is a real or a false objection. I mean, if they just keep going on and on and on about the price, that's not really a real objection. So you could say something like, well, if I could solve that particular problem, if I could deal with the price issue, could we move forward on this deal today? Are you able to make this decision if we can resolve this particular problem or this particular concern? If they say yes, then you can move on. If it's no, it's just a complaint, and you need to be able to, well, what else is on your mind? What's holding you back? Why wouldn't you do this deal? Keep on asking to get that, isolate that unspoken objection that's getting in the way of the sale. And once you've identified it, it's real, you can handle it, then you can move straight forward into the close. But remember, the most challenging objection in the sales process is the unspoken objection. And in that step number 5, you've got to ask hard questions. We had a section in here on asking the hard questions. Why wouldn't you do it? What's behind that? What's holding you back? How would you rate this call on a scale of 1 to 10? It's a 7. How do I make it a 10? What can I do to move forward? What's holding you back? Why wouldn't you make this investment? Those hard questions impress upon your prospect that you're a business person, you're listening, you're actively listening, you're focused on the outcome, and they'll be impressed with your professionalism, your business acumen, and it builds trust. And if you overcome that objection, you're going to get the close. Number 8, always write a proposal. Even whether the prospect isn't quite ready to buy or they're still uncertain, they're still considering it, give them a written proposal. In this example I've got here, say you're installing an HVAC system and you've made a pitch, you've told them the price, right? You can even write it down on a piece of paper or a napkin with your name, your company, and the price. Here, we'll fully install this on June the 26th. Here's the price, $19,500. So they've actually got a written proposal, because they can't buy something if they don't actually have a proposal. And you never know when they're going to come back to that proposal. I'm thinking about that. It's getting a little bit warm in here. We did talk to that HVAC sales guy, and somewhere I've got a proposal from them. Oh, here it is. It's on this napkin. Yeah, that seems like a good price. Let's go forward. You never ever know when they're going to come back to it. They're ultimately going to respond to that proposal, and get them that proposal really, really quickly. Either in the meeting itself, you can write a proposal, or send it immediately within an hour or two of your meeting. The faster that you can send that proposal, the more they will recognize that one of your competitive advantages is speed. If I work with this person, they respond quickly, they put things in writing, they follow up. I like the way that this person does business. So always write a proposal. You'll get more business that way. This great sales secret takes me back 30 years when I was selling in the UK and had a sales manager, sales mentor, Jerry Burke, who was a phenomenal salesman, could always sense how the deal was going. But it's always a good practice to actually get somebody else in your organization to actually call your prospect up and ask the simple question, hey, I know you've been working with Mick Holly for a while and he's been telling me we put a deal together for you. Can you tell me why you haven't bought from us yet? And the prospect will open up and often through a third party tell them things that they wouldn't tell me, Mick, personally, because they've built a relationship with me. They don't want to offend me. They don't want to tell me the real reason why they're not buying. When you get a third party involved, it's absolutely shocking what they will express. They'll often tell you what their real objection is. It hasn't come out in the sales cycle yet. And then that gives you another rallying point to be able to come back and deal with that objection. So this could be the manager call at the end of a sales process. It could be a manager call where you haven't gotten to the end, but for some reason the sale has stalled, or they've actually gone with somebody else. You can ask the question, why didn't you buy our product, and get some intel that way? And who knows, the person who's supplying the competitor who's supplying that project may trip up. They may not do well, and you'll be able to get that business in the future. It doesn't have to be a manager. It could be your spouse. For example, your spouse could say, hey, I know you've been working with my husband for 3 months now, and he's been working on this deal at the weekend, and just wanted to let you know that we appreciate your business and hope that you can work with us. Tell me about what we can do. That emotional connection can often push the prospect over the line. So somebody within your organization, somebody within your family, a manager, a third party, you will be astonished at how much information that you can get that then you, the salesperson, can use to drive that sale to its completion. Make sure always involve a third party as part of your sales process. It'll pay dividends. And sales secret number 10 is the one that can have the biggest immediate impact on your sales success. If there are 10 bids out there for this particular work, it's highly competitive, everybody else looks the same. You need to stand out. You need to differentiate yourself. And when you differentiate yourself by just 1%, you don't just win 1% more business, you get all the business. So you just need to be a little bit better than everybody else to win all of the work. The key to being a little bit better is to follow up on that call, on that meeting. So within 10 minutes of the meeting, maybe it's a phone call, maybe it was in person, text that person and say, thanks for the meeting, really enjoyed meeting with you, I really heard these key points that were important to you, I'll be following up on that. The faster that you do that, the more that you communicate that you can act with speed and agility, and they like people who are responsive. Also, send an email that same day. Thanks for the great meeting, I really enjoyed it. Next day, send a little note saying, hey, I had some thoughts on that point that you made, and just add a little bit of color commentary around that point to demonstrate that you heard it. Then day 3 or day 4, send them another note or text which says, hey, look, here's an article, here's a useful link, we talked about this, here's something that somebody else is doing, I thought of you and I wanted you to see that. Here's the important thing. Only 3% of your buyers are ready to make an instantaneous decision in that first meeting. You normally have to do a number of follow-up calls, and 80% of business is done and the deals are made between the 5th and the 12th call. The average salesperson only follows up twice, so they're missing out on 95% of the business. So you follow up 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. You really differentiate yourself. Follow up is critical. Follow up is your competitive weapon, because it's astonishing. People just don't follow up. They give up after 2 calls. And if you follow up 4, 5, 6 times, just send them a little, you can record a video on your phone and say, hey, I was thinking of you. Here are some of the points again. Here's some thoughts. Here's an idea for you. you? Hey, I was thinking of you. You stay present in their mind as they go through that process. And when they're ready to buy, who do they think of? They think of you, and they're going to call you. So follow up. You'd be absolutely surprised. Go to your deals that you've got on the table right now and look at them and say, when did I last connect with these people? And you might have 10, 15 deals in your portfolio, and some of them might have spoken to them last week. Last week is too long. I was talking to a company the other day. They got 14,000 contacts on their email list, and they send out an email to them once a quarter. That's just not going to work, right? You need to be talking to them regularly, and particularly when you've got an ongoing deal. So if you've left it a week, it's too long. Get comfortable with coming up with creative ideas to be able to follow up, add value, point them at links, and you will forever improve your conversion rate. Let me sum up the 10 secrets for 10xing your business. Number 1, create your indestructible belief system. Program your mind for success. 2, synchronize your life goals and your sales plan. Write them down. Look at them every day. It's what's going to compel you to take action and overcome objections and go that extra mile. 3, always agree with your customer. If you're not in agreement, you can't make the sale. Number 4, understand it's never about price. Price is a myth. Price is made up. Price is never the real objection. Number 5, always ask hard questions, searching questions. Don't feel uncomfortable with asking those questions. That's your job. You demonstrate your business acumen by asking hard questions. Always attempt the close. Ask early, ask often, ask again. Identify the true barrier to the sale, right? Because it's not the price. It may be something, the objection is always something they haven't brought up, and it can get it out of them right at the very own. So make sure that you get the true objection out there, the true dominant buying motive. Always write a proposal. You'll get more deals if you put the proposal in writing. They'll come back to it maybe a week later, a month later, a year later, who knows? But always put a proposal in writing and do it quickly. Always involve a third party. Ask, why haven't we got the order yet? Why didn't you buy from us? Give you a real opportunity to close that deal or build a relationship. Even if they don't go with you, they'll tell you something interesting. And the follow-up is critical for success. You must always follow up. That will differentiate you, and it will astound your customers. So I hope you enjoyed this seminar. I want to tell you about my program to help you increase your sales and business acumen. It's the 10x Business Coach program. I'm a certified trainer for 10x with the Grant Cardone Foundation, and I can help you 10x your sales. I'm bringing my personal experience and expertise to the table, along with the proven 10x Business Coach program, along with a complete arsenal of sales training techniques, videos and exercises. I'm offering a group coaching program. It's weekly calls with me live, and then I'm going to be supporting that with daily sales videos and training exercise, because sales is a muscle, right? If you don't use the muscle, you don't get good at it. So it's role playing, it's exercises, it's all of the points that we've talked about. There are over 1,500 sales training videos in the arsenal, but I'll be guiding you through that. We build your sales muscle, build your business muscle, and I'm also going to help you identify the key levers for increasing your revenue and increasing the profitability and cash flow of your business. We'll be having quarterly workshops which you can join live or in person. I'd love you to be part of this program. There are only limited availabilities. Go to mickholly.us, that's .us/coaching. You can find out more about it and more about me. But just in summary, I've had over 40 years in sales. I started in pharmaceutical sales, going door to door, knocking on GPs' doors, knocking on hospital doors. I was then groomed as a top account manager within IBM, fantastic sales training. Worked for Accenture, helping them grow their manufacturing business in the UK. Then I moved to the US
and will help build a $100 million consulting company doing change management for Fortune 500 companies. And working for those Fortune 500 companies, I've seen the best techniques that the big companies, the big money spent on. I've taken those techniques, synthesized them to allow you in a smaller business to be able to take advantage of those. I can train you in those. I'm practicing Lean and Six Sigma with the founders, the people who'd invented some of the Six Sigma methodology at SBTI. For 5 years, I've been working with commercial trades, smaller companies, helping them improve their profitability with my By the Numbers program. And now I'm working with Grant Cardone with the 10X business community. We have a wealth of resources and assets that we can bring to the table to 10X your business. So you're going to be working with me in order to help you grow your business. Hope you enjoyed this seminar. Once again, check out my program. Go to mickholly.us/.
Sorry, I stuttered there a little bit. Yeah, so you can also book a call with me at speaktomick.com. You can see that rolling over the bottom of the screen. I hope you enjoyed this short presentation. That just covered some of the tips and sales tips that are part of the portfolio. If you're also interested, I have a podcast called Sell the Sizzle. If you go to sellthesizzle.net, you can search all my episodes, ask it questions. It's an AI. You'll see if you go on to sellthesizzle.net, there's a search bar at the top. If you search something like cold call, it'll show you all of the chapters in those audio podcasts that will give you some insight. So plenty of sales, coaching, and information for you. Once again, I enjoyed being with you today. Every Thursday, 1 o'clock East Coast time, I'm going to be helping you grow your business by the numbers, and look forward to seeing you next week. Don't forget to put some comments or questions if you visit this on the YouTube channel.